Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. Today on the show, we are revisiting Family Ties, Season 1. So get ready, grab your soft political views, and listen to this.
Welcome back, everyone, to our new episode. I'm Christina.
And I'm Brian.
And we're talking about Family Ties.
Season 1.
Season 1. Well, a portion of Season 1. We were planning on 10 episodes.
We finished at 7.
Yeah, we agreed to 7.
And yet I think it's fair. I think it's like a fair number for the show.
I think so too.
Yeah, and as everyone knows, we'll be doing just a shallow dive as we do. So going back, this show I believe was 82.
82 into 83.
Just like Cheers.
Yep.
So it did be the same year that Cheers did, and that essentially was it Thursday nights? I don't really remember.
I don't remember what night it was, or even like the lineup. I don't.
Well, I don't think it was It wasn't must see TV yet.
It was probably like ABC or something.
No, Family Ties is NBC.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
interesting.
But yeah, so 1982. Mm-hmm. Do you remember? So, what was your take on Family Ties back then?
So I wasn't. It wasn't one of my favorite shows, but it was a consistent show that I would watch. So it was one of those. I mean, back then, what was it? 82. So I was like, I think in 9th grade. 8th or 9th grade. So, I mean, what did you do at night? You just came home and you put the TV on at primetime TV and you just watched the show with the family. So, I think that was just one of our shows that we just watched. So, it wasn't something that I rushed home to watch or, but I liked it.
Did you have back then like an idea of, the parents are jerks or the kids or the parents just don't understand or like the kids are bad? Because I feel like that. Because we're probably going to talk a little bit about that whole dynamic. So I'm curious, like then, how you thought about that.
I think back then it was. I remember feeling more on the side of the parents, but only because it was like their political views. Mm-hmm. Like I just didn't really understand where Alex was coming from. He was completely like different than any person I went to high school with or high school, and we dressed in a tie every day, so it was sort of someone that I didn't really relate to. Mm-hmm. So I think if I had to choose between the parent or the child, I would have leaned more towards the parents in terms of like political views and things like that too.
Interesting. For me, it was like I absolutely remember watching the show and kind of fondly. I remember. Like the mom, Meredith Baxter Birney, very, very vividly. I always thought she was like this great voice of reason and love. I remember really loving Alex actually, and I remember I did feel like more than its share. It had a lot of very special episodes, which as a very young gay kid, like loving the drama in a comedy, they always had like this, like, even what we're about to talk about, there's a couple of those moments in that. So, but yeah, I agree. I think I remembered the parents are right, but Alex is very entertaining.
Sure.
That's how I remembered that back then. So diving in now, what are your initial...
Well...
Oh no.
Well, I have a few notes about the show. I guess it was surprising to me the greenness of it in terms of the acting.
Oh my god.
And the writing and the
I'm only laughing because Christina's face is like she just, I don't know.
I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Yeah. I was very surprised. I was expecting to watch the show and be sort of, not really blown away, but like see immediately why it was such a hit. And I turned it on, and my first impression actually was the opening. And it was, again, we talked about this before about how back then the openings
songs.
had it was like an actual song that you might actually hear on the radio.
Yeah.
And this was the same idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was a long song,
Yes.
and it was they put so much effort into this opening.
Yeah.
They went through like different ages, and this. For those of you who aren't familiar with the opening, it was what's the name of the song? I forget the name of the song.
What would we do?
What would we do, baby, without us, whatever it is.
yeah.
But it's like this series of pictures of them
As flower children.
as flower children
Yeah.
meeting
In the 60s,
and then
yeah.
there's some pictures of them, getting married, and then
Yeah.
there's some pictures of them with the baby or pregnant, and then there's a picture of them with the baby, and I'm like, wow, they really put a lot of effort into this
Meredith Baxter
opening.
Burney truly looks young. I mean,
She does.
Steven has a wig, the
He
black
has a
wig,
wig,
which
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
horrible. But like, she genuinely looks a lot younger
Yes.
than she does when it ends.
But I was
When
I was impressed at how much effort they put into the
That's
opening
interesting.
sequence. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, okay. But then, thinking, I was very surprised at how bad the acting was.
Oh my god. Okay. It was very like little. There are moments with, in particular, Mallory, Justine.
Oh my
my
gosh.
god. But here's the thing. Okay, so the first couple of episodes, I'm like, where does she think she is? Like, it's like she's on a Broadway stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's like, "Hi, Mom." Like, it's like, are you auditioning for a toothpaste commercial? Like, it's like it's very heightened energy.
Mm-hmm.
And to that matter, I think the parents even fall into that too a little bit. I think Meredith Baxter Burney is a little heightened. It's a little loud. I feel like
Yes.
I'm like, it's in front of a studio audience, right?
It
If
is.
I remember.
And maybe that's why they were
But they're
feeling that
really
way.
talking loud.
Yes, I felt like, honestly, in the episodes that we watched, I feel like the best actor in the whole bunch was...
Teeny others.
Nope.
Michael Gross.
Michael Gross.
Yeah.
I felt like he was truly the star of this whole show, and I don't know what kind of background he had before the show, but he was a good actor. He was believable. He had great timing, and I felt
Yes.
like that was the biggest problem I had with everybody else, except for Michael J. Fox was good.
He was like just
Yeah.
instantly.
He was good.
Good, yeah.
But I mean, and even Tina Yothers was okay at times
Yeah.
for her age. I'll throw all those things in there.
Yeah, they have a lot
For
to say
her
about
age.
Tina.
But the timing was so off. Even Meredith Baxter Burney, I'm like, oh my god, she really stinks.
With comedy, because she
She was in
was
something
in Family.
else. Family, that's
yeah,
right.
she was
yeah.
in, which is weird. Family and Family
Right.
Ties. But then later on, she did a lot of TV movies where she like plays like a crazy person, and I feel like people had inspired moments. As much as I say Justine Bateman was horrible in the first few episodes, the episode where we're jumping around, but it's like where she gets Uncle Arthur'd basically twice.
Yes.
She brings it when she needs to.
She was great.
She was really good in that episode.
I said that was a great episode for her.
And I think with Michael Gross, I think episode 7 where the comedic timing of when he's yelling at Alex about releasing the names. So the plot of episode 7 is there's a scandal at school. They're trying to cover a cover-up where all these kids have cheated on a test. The principal isn't with the story because it's bad publicity. Fine. But Alex finds out and he releases it to the school newspaper. He's the newspaper editor. And unfortunately, Mallory is one of these kids that cheated. And so the father gets mad, and it's layered. And I actually appreciated the dialogue because it is a layered situation. Like Alex, it's very well, I think, well scripted in the idea of like it was very tit for tat. Like, well, you can't say this and then say that, and that's valid. And but when it's compared to Watergate and Richard Nixon and that. He's like, oh, did you have sympathy for Richard Nixon? And then Michael Gross starts this thing where he's basically talking about the party they had when the Richard Nixon thing happened.
Right.
But it's done, the comedic timing is done so well and so funny, and he's really great.
So
and
good.
he's pretty consistently good throughout the episodes that I watched.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think he was definitely the strongest actor in the whole bunch.
Tina Others, I really have to say this. I thought she was amazing. There are episodes where I would argue she has more dialogue than any character other than Michael J. Fox. She has a lot to say, a lot to say and a lot to do. And I'm watching, some of these scenes are long takes. They take place in like, say, Mallory's bedroom, or they take place in her bedroom with her mom. And she, I'm like, holy God, I'm like, she remembered, I mean, I'm being a little cheesy, but it's like, how old was she? And she remembers all of these lines, and she really holds her own. Like,
she's 9 years old.
So she's holding her own in this, like, with these other actors, and she's given stuff to do, given thoughtful dialogue to say, delivering like little punchlines and zingers, and her timing, I think, is better than even some of her adult co-stars at times.
Agreed.
And I thought that, I was like, wow, I don't remember her being that funny. I don't remember that character being that funny or that good.
I don't remember her being that funny until later on. I felt like she was sort of taking over some of that Michael J. Fox character after he was like an adult, so it wasn't as funny. And then she came in.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that in the later episodes, later seasons. But yeah, I thought that she was good. For her age, I thought she was good. And I thought that she got a lot of the best lines, too. Between her and Michael J. Fox, they got the best lines. So, and maybe that was intended because Mallory was such a terrible actress. Justine, she was really, I could not get over how bad it was. And I don't know, even like the timing and...
Well, also, her character, and this is interesting that you're saying that. I don't know if, I don't think she was as, well, in my opinion, I don't think she was as bad as you felt, as bad as she was. But remember, she becomes dumb.
Right.
And she's not dumb in the first 7 episodes. There's like this thing where she doesn't study. There's like, this is a book smart. She's bad at math, right. But otherwise, she's kind of just this like mall shopping girl that isn't dumb. She just has different interests. Right. And spoiler alert. I mean, like, if anyone is familiar with the series, she truly is like an airhead. I think she's up there with like probably Rose Nyland and like Woody.
Oh, sure, in the later seasons for sure.
Yeah. Excuse me. But I will say, like, do you remember? And I am totally jumping. I'm old enough to remember when Meredith Baxter Birney and Michael J. Fox would have arguments on the set, and like the National Enquirer would report on it, and she was getting mad. She was getting mad because he was getting all of these like great scenes and great episodes. But the thing is, and I wrote this, like, I was like, from the episode 1, I feel like this was a Michael J. Fox show. Did you feel that or not really?
I definitely felt that.
I feel like every episode was about him and the people like around him.
Yes.
But most of the time.
Question for you. Yeah. Did this come out before, after, around the same time as Back to the Future? Was he already an established star, or is this his first?
Oh, no, this is like his first.
It was his very first.
Pretty sure, because Back to the Future was probably 84, 86.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. This is like, I think, your introduction to Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. Because it did seem like they were writing for him.
Absolutely.
It did seem like, because like I said, he had some of the best lines. And it seemed like he was the star. Wasn't he basically the center of all of the, except for episode 6 with Uncle Arthur? I feel like he was
in episode 5, right? Because it's Steven's father comes to visit.
Steven's father, yeah, that was a good one.
But even that, Steven's dad chose Alex to hang out with. So it's like, it is this weird thing. It's like, and I wrote this, like the show is in love with Alex. Like, for as much as he is the opposing political view of his parents, the show is completely on board with him.
Right.
Like, and so I think that was interesting, and I was like, as an adult watching it now, I was like, oh, the show is kind of sort of making fun. I feel like there's almost more jabs at the parents than at Michael J.